Our third speaker is Mathias, and he is the CEO and co-founder of Handprint. Super excited. I want to claim them for Bali. I think they started in Singapore, but they have a big team here as well. And they have a global remit. They're really enabling companies globally to be more regenerative. And I love his systems thinking. Follow him on LinkedIn if you're not. He has some big ideas and is really supporting the ecosystem and helping provide resources to the sustainable community as well. So, Mathias, thank you for your leadership and for being an incredible part of the Bali and Southeast Asian startup community.
Thank you. All right, so my name is Mathias. I'm the co-founder of Handprint. Handprint is a nature tech startup. We are on a mission to upgrade the global economy into a regenerative economy that benefits nature. And today I'm going to show you a bit of the work that we've been doing now for 3 years. Beginning of the year, we raised a $3 million seed round that enabled us to grow the teams and deploy regenerative impact in 24 countries in the world. So this is a calculation done by the United Nations Environment Programme this year on how much humanity should invest in nature to have a chance to tackle the triple planetary crisis that we're facing. So global warming, soil degradation, and biodiversity collapse. We tend to focus mostly on climate change. We speak a lot about carbon. And really, what we are really trying to put on the table is a new focus on nature rather than carbon only in the context of corporate sustainability. Okay, our clients are big corporations, mostly in the global north. And we found a regenerative impact project mostly in the global south. So when we look at why companies engage in climate action, in regenerative action, how they spend their budget and why they are doing that, it's mainly for two reasons, right? It's either they are forced by the regulator, in some countries, in some states in the US, in South Korea, in Germany, etc., in Singapore now, or because their leadership set up some kind of voluntary actions about a net zero roadmap, etc. Okay, so it's pure regulation and goodwill. And what we're really trying to do at Handprint is to avoid economic actors to rely on those two reasons. We're trying to find a third reason that would enable us to reach that $8 trillion. So how do we do that? So imagine if engaging in climate action was actually profitable. Imagine if it was a winning corporate strategy and that you could demonstrate that. So you could go to your board of directors and say, look, today our net zero action, it's mostly costs. But we have found a way to make this profitable. We have found a way to capture business value out of it. Of course, the board will, sign off on that plan. So that's what we have been doing over the last 3 years now, inspired by companies like Patagonia and Forest, which are not Handprint's clients. All of the rest are Handprint's clients. So global, big brands, global economic actors that engage in climate actions, that are pioneers most of the time on those questions. And what we've been trying to do every time with each of those companies is really to make it ROI positive for them, so that they don't see sustainability as a cost, but it becomes a lever of growth for the company. So the $1 million question, how, right? So this is my co-founder, Ryan. Ryan is American, he's an academic. He's a PhD in climate policies. And last year, he published a paper that was awarded by the Financial Times best teaching case of the year on sustainability about a use case, about Alipay. and how Alipay have created a massive impact together with a lot of business value, a lot of revenue, a lot of KPI that grew the business in the form of customer engagement, loyalty, recall to their platform. How they made that happen in just 6 months, planting 330 million trees in the process, right? It's probably one of the first examples of like a regenerative business or digitally integrated regenerative business that creates a lot of value for stakeholders and a lot of impact that is measurable and quantifiable. So we took those scientific findings, right, and we applied those to the industries where our clients are from. We started with e-commerce. I'll show you an example. And then we continued with the advertising industry, the ad tech sector, with the largest player in that sector, Tids, a French company. And now we're expanding to 5 more verticals in telco, in gaming, and in banking, which is a new product that we're launching next month at the Singapore FinTech Festival. So for e-commerce, we started and we applied those scientific findings on how to communicate regenerative pledges from companies in the customer journey, right? On the homepage, on the product page, in email engagement with users. And we demonstrated with A/B testing an increase of 16% sales, right? So for this company, it becomes a growth strategy rather than a sustainability budget. We did the same with Tids and our client Uber Eats in Japan, integrating regenerative impact into advertising experiences, where you can see on an ad that this budget, the budget spent for the ad campaign is creating some positive impact that you can track and that you can see, that you can visualize on some tracking dashboard, on a public tracking, on a public tracker, basically, that is hosted by Handprint. And next month, we are launching together with our partner IDEMIA, which is the largest card payment manufacturer. We're launching a product for retail banks for them to integrate regenerative action, so our network of regenerative impact, into iBanking experiences. And we're super excited about this. There is already 4 banks in the pilot program. And for them, it's the same. We are not even tapping into their sustainability budget, because the budget that's there for them, it's acquisition and retention of Gen Z and millennials on their platform. So they are using regeneration to engage with this new audience that otherwise leave and go to digital banking, sustainable banking, etc. So we are offering them a good reason to actually engage in climate action. So that's for the demand side, okay? So that's for corporates that pay our subscription, that buy impact from us. But we are a double-sided marketplace. So on one, we solve 2 problems. The value capture for corporates to give them a good reason to engage in climate action. And then on the other side, we solve a quality problem, okay? We can fund, with that money that is coming from our corporate clients, we could fund many projects of a lot of diversity. But how do we make sure that the dollar that we invest has a ratio, an impact to dollar ratio that is the highest in the world? So that's what we've been doing for the last 3 years. We've now digitized the largest impact network of regenerative projects across the world. Now, on a daily basis, we have 5 to 10 projects that are submitting an application to be listed on our platform. And we do KYC AML plus a scientific assessment of the project that I'll show you. We map all of those projects to the United Nations SDGs. We quantify their theory of change in terms of 4 dimensions that I'll show you. But I want to give you first this example about Yakopi. Yakopi is a local yayasan here in Indonesia. They do mangrove restoration work in they do mangrove restoration work in Sumatra and in East Java. Okay, We empower these teams with digitization tools, so we give them mobile application, dashboard for their management to digitize their reporting process so that they can report in a science-based way that is aligned with international standards that, on the other side, corporates are expecting. And if you're a small NGO, you don't have the capability to do that, right? That's why most corporates, before Handprint, would only either make a donation or buy carbon credits from large organizations like Conservation International, WWF. With Handprint, we're actually bringing a lot of new regenerative supply to the market because we're increasing the quality of the supply by digitizing those teams, empowering those teams with digital tools to actually reach this new level of reporting. How do we curate? Okay, it's probably the most important point. We created a methodology that is now an open science and an open source methodology to quantify 3 things for each project that submit an application to be listed on our platform. We quantify the relevance of the project to the United Nations SDGs. We quantify the alignment of the impact that is going to be created with the needs of the bioregion in which the project is executed. I give you an example. If you plant trees in Singapore, first, the government has the operational capability and the funds to do it without bringing in civil society money. So the additionality is extremely limited. So it's not relevant and not aligned. And then the last one is urgency, which is probably the most important of those 3. Urgency quantifies how urgent one ecosystem is to be restored, because this specific ecosystem has a very specific function for planetary health. So if we restore that ecosystem and if we protect it, we are creating positive effects across the globe. And some projects are much more urgent to be executed than others, basically. So we give that as I would say, a decision-making tool for large corporates to make an informed decision about how they are deploying their regenerative impact budget in our portfolio. So, you've probably heard about carbon credits. I've heard carbon offset in the previous presentation. We are not a carbon credit broker, and we are advocating against carbon offsetting. To go into the details, we are advocating for new frameworks, new corporate frameworks in which positive impact is reported, is decorrelated from negative impact. So those are new frameworks called in the corporate sustainability space regeneration or regenerative sustainability. And what we are doing here, we are pioneering together with a few other companies, mostly in the US and in Europe. We are pioneering a new crediting protocol for nature. What does it mean? A carbon credit is a certificate that says 1 ton of carbon has been absorbed somewhere, mostly outside of your value chain as a company. What companies do today is they buy those carbon credits, and then they make the claim that the carbon absorbed is actually cancelling out their own negative impact, their own pollution, okay? A nature credit doesn't allow to offset anything. It allows you to build natural capital on your book, so you can report to the regulator, you can report to your ESG investors how much natural capital you have protected or you have rebuilt, and what is the function of that ecosystem, and how much services quantified in US dollars this ecosystem has created, basically. So we're a double-sided marketplace. On one side, we digitize the most impactful projects in the world. On the other side, we have companies from very different industries. Now we have mostly banks, bank and insurances, digital banking, advertising, e-commerce, that buy nature credits from us and also access a service layer, a SaaS platform, basically a B2B enterprise SaaS platform, that gives them access to advanced tracking. They can really see on a map how their project is being deployed on a daily basis, access to pictures, etc., photos from the ground, videos, and access high-quality data that they can report in their ESG reporting, basically. So today, actually now, so this was last week, a presentation that I prepared last week. Now we are at 2.8 million square meters of ecosystem funded. We have more than 230 clients and pre-sold $17,000 of subscription to our platform, which is very new for us. We used to operate as a pure marketplace until last month. This is how we are upgrading the economy into a regenerative economy that benefits nature. If you allow me to finish on one slide that really resonates with your from do less harm to do more good slide that I want to show you guys. So these are screenshots of our platform, by the way. Financial transparency. Yeah, so this slide. And this, I think, is really key if we want to all share the same definitions, basically, because the practice of sustainability in a corporate context is evolving very fast. And there are many words, and people talk about regeneration, regenerative sustainability. It's not super well defined. But I think what's clear is that there is a big shift happening in corporate sustainability that brings companies out of a legacy sustainability mindset that was focused on three things: measure, reduce, offset. That is uni-dimension. One dimension only here was taken into account, carbon. So we talk about carbon tunnel vision for this type of sustainability framework. And all of this is evolving towards a much more exciting family of frameworks called regenerative sustainability around regeneration. So it's really about aligning business models to the planetary boundaries and increasing Earth capacity to host us and to host life. Okay, so it's a very, very deep change of paradigm that has many implications in corporate sustainability, and that's really something that we are really trying to infuse in our products and in our technology. Thank you so much.
Mathias, amazing. I think there's so much to dig into here. Don't go too far. We're gonna pop you back up on the panel session. And so if anyone needs to quickly stretch their legs or just stand up and stretch a little bit, we'll give you like 2 minutes if you need a bathroom break or some water. And we're going to come back for the panel discussion. So I'm hoping we've got about half an hour for the panel, and then we'll go into networking. So kind of get some questions ready for these guys, and we'll be back in 2 minutes.